Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the Cave and Drew show. I am your co-host today, Caveman, and today a little different type of show. Andrew unfortunately wasn't here, so he will not be in this episode this week. He couldn't make it, but we do have a special guest for today's show. I have my homeboy Steve, man, local mechanic. He is a BMW automotive technician, and I have him here today to be discussing how to go about your first car when you go and buy it, and that's a great feeling to have. Welcome, Steve. What's up, man?
None much. Thank you for having me here. Because let's talk about the approaching of the first car.
Yeah, man.
Alrighty. So my question to all the audience right now: if you have your first car, would be your first thing to do? So, what I did long time ago, I always do my research.
Right.
And when you're doing your research, you always have to make sure your make, your model, and the year.
Right.
And after that, it depends on the mileage of your car.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's our first point of the show. So since we're just getting right into it, basically you discussed that doing research, and so a lot of the stuff that you do when looking up your first car, you just gotta also know what exactly you want. And so you said basically the best thing to go about is going to do your research, but also knowing exactly what you want.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So I also want to add that it's very important note. Just get something you like, man.
Yeah, you have to be something that's a car that draws into you, and it will speak to you. Like whatever caught your eye, whatever body style, the lines, the face of the car. If it could be like a 2-door or a 4-door or an SUV.
Mm-hmm. And it's awesome because just like I think it just runs in our blood, but just that masculine energy. And I'm not trying to be have this toxic masculinity in the topic, but it just runs in our blood. We have natural instincts as men to be attracted to stuff like machines and this testosterone driven culture.
It's more like a adrenaline actually, because when he feels that it's something that's drawn to you, it's there. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, this car might be an awesome,
right?
A vehicle that you can look at and picture in the future later on if you want to do just drive it like a normal car, or just want to do modifications on these cars, because there's a lot of modifications for any type of cars, but except for soccer vans.
You all the soccer mom vans?
Soccer mom vans, but it's like there's few people that does it.
Uh-huh.
But there's less people that want to do a modification soccer mom van.
Yeah, I agree with you, and there's so much that goes into it too, because it's that love you give the vehicle, whether you're doing it for performance or you just want to keep it stock too. Just you love it by washing it or whatever you do with it.
Yeah, it's a drive when you like, oh, you want to take care of your baby. This is pretend. I would say pretend this is your fourth child.
Your fourth child. Word, man. So it's important to know exactly what you want to, and I guess which way you want to go with your first vehicle, whether you want to make it faster or you just want it to get you from point A to point B, basically.
True. That is very true, because the point A to point B is whatever vehicle that you want to drive. If it's a daily driver, a street-driven driver car, or a track-driving car, or maybe a drift car, or probably a drag racing car. This is funny. I've seen people that drive their drag racing cars to different meets or to a drag strip for 1,000 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wild though, and it's street legal also.
Yeah, man. Some people, especially now, because we just came out of pandemic, so our pockets are hurting a little bit. But
it is still hurting as much. We still eat like the pandemic is hurting a lot of people.
Yeah, man.
Especially when you try and find their first car,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever whatever like that could get you to point A to point B.
Right. And then some people are looking at something as well, like fuel economy, whether it won't be so harsh on their pockets for gas and stuff like that. Easy maintenance as well. Is important. I think when you're looking up cars too.
Well, yes, that too. Also, because and yes, when you're doing for economy cars, there's so many different varieties of econs, and it could be a 3 cylinder or 4 cylinder car that can to get you point A to point B.
Mm-hmm.
Also, nowadays these cars that will come out, like newer generation cars that comes with a turbo and still be an econ car,
Mm-hmm.
it can get you to point A to point B. Not knowing that if you want a turbocharged car that's still economical,
Mm-hmm.
or a non-turbocharged car that's still economical.
Right. It gets you a little spicy, with the little turbo kicked in there, because it gets you a little bit of fun too, while being a little economic.
Right. It is very not ironic, but it's a little something you can have fun and do by go do your errands and everything.
Hmm. So being like working in a shop that's 90%, you work on 90% of it is BMW basically daily. Like what's your car? Like, you tell everybody what your car is, man.
Well, yeah, I work at a shop at the mechanic shop for BMWs like really 90% of the time. And right now, the car that I'm driving is a BMW E39 from the late 2000s. And it's a four-door sedan.
Hmm.
Now, mind you, when I first bought this car, like I said, mentioned we did our research. I did my research to buy my first car. A lot of people tell me, listen, why don't you save some money, put it aside, and always go at least $5,000, like close to that, as a used car.
Hmm.
So I got my car in Fort Lauderdale for 2200.
For 2200, which is not bad, especially for a BMW, and for its year and mileage it had. That's good. That's
Yeah,
good, man.
yeah, I love it. I just love it because it's in it, and also, this car when I bought it, it's a manual car. It's a 5 speed, so it's a rare car to have in a sedan car.
Hmm.
But not most all cars have that. As an option, you can do a conversion kit, not conversion. My bad. Scoot that. It's an option to have a manual car in a sedan car.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. So make sure it's something you like. First point, and make sure you do your research before going out there and getting ripped off. We mentioned also try to avoid buying lemon cars. So what's the definition of, for everybody that doesn't know out there, what a lemon is?
Well, a lemon is a car that if you want to buy off rip and just don't not caring on fixing whatever that's on the car, like the interior or the exterior, whatever you want to do like a can't say like a daily driver all the time.
Something you just want to run down to the ground, basically. Yeah.
Something you had to have fun with, and I seen videos and things that people that run lemon cars as a track car
Mm-hmm.
for like an endurance race. That's about it.
Right. You want to avoid that because the whole point of you getting your first car is you want it to at least last, but it can't be new either, because buying new is not a good idea, especially for a first time driver. You want something that's already a little bit pre used. And so it's a little, people had basically already gave it a little bit of use. So it's like, how is it? It's broke in a little bit.
Yeah, it's like kind of broken already. Most of these are used cars
Mm-hmm.
that's broken in, and there's a lot of underclass cars like there are car lemons.
Mm-hmm.
So and and the thing is when I look at my car, I have to always check for anything that's it's not a lemon. So my car is it's like close to close to new. almost, but I still have to fix certain things on the car.
Right.
But it still drove as like a brand new 2000 uh 2000 year car. But after a certain miles or a certain year, something start to deteriorate.
Right. After being used so much, and it's gonna come. It's probably a drawback of getting like a lemon is it's repairs. It's gonna be never ending. You might as well not get something unless you're really trying to kill the car. Um,
Right, yeah.
but also being your first car, also you have to look into what you want to do with it once you start upgrading parts. If you want it for speed, for fuel economy, whatever it is. um I also want to go into like you have to have a good budget because you don't want to go too cheap as well.
Well, yeah, yeah, a good budget deal. And I would say this: put something aside, where you want to actually fix the car.
Mm-hmm.
And when you set money to the side, and it's not a lemon car that you kind of want to do. If you want to do a lemon car and build the whole car from the ground up, by all means, put money to the side and
Mm-hmm.
save that money until it comes through your vision.
Right. So it looks exactly how you like
Yeah, how you
basically.
want it.
Gotcha. We are also gonna say like a good way to go about your first car so you won't pay so much is you're a rookie when you're starting off your first car. You don't know nothing about where to buy anything. Your first stop might be, oh man, I'm gonna go to the dealership. There's always alternatives to that too, because I've noticed that we got other options, you feel me? Like we could go to like an auction and we get a car that's below MSRP or the retail price that you'll get.
Yeah, and I would say if you want to you do your research. The first thing there's other sites you can go to, but my thing is you get to know the value of your car.
Oh, that's something else. Getting to know what the value of your car is before even
Right.
going out there.
Before you going out there. And when you doing the value of your car, whatever makes a model, however you want to, on the real, not even the retail price, there's certain aspects of, what you want to do with your future life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, there's a website called Kelly Blue Book
Mm-hmm.
where you can do your research and find used cars, but they're not going to give you anything. But they will never give you a lemon car in a like.
Yeah, it's popular site because a lot of people go to Kelly Blue Book to get like what their average price range is when they want to buy a car. So
Yeah.
it's a good like tool to use. Be like, oh, I don't want to get ripped off. Let me go see how much Kelly Blue Book is selling it for. You feel me?
Well, not because only Kelly Blue can give you the value of these cars.
Mm-hmm.
Because once the value of the car, it's going to be if it's a bad car or not so hot of a value of car. Certain cars can give you very good, or I don't know whatever the other side of the value of the aspects of these cars.
Mm-hmm. And of course, like H. Greg is another one. It's a
That
really good
too.
one.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
man. But tell me, like, let's just say you already purchased your car. You go into an auction. Good idea is to probably look into a license for that auction too. Would that be a good idea, or maybe looking for a auction in person as well?
Well, yes. There's certain I don't know about license because I haven't gone to any auction before yet.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, there's so many local auctions you can go to and start bidding live.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also auctions on websites
Mm-hmm.
you can do also.
That's a big one.
It is a big one, but my thing is if you want to go to like a live auction, you want to see the cars that might go up for auction.
Mm-hmm.
You can go inspect them, see what you might do, what they can give you forth. Um,
Kind of checking to see like if it has any frame damage.
exactly. Any frame damage or any nicks or dings, or anything that's that's repairable.
Right.
Because certain cars that it can't be repairable if you don't have if you don't have the money.
Oh yes, sir. You don't want to end up with the salvage title or something that's unrepairable. The frame and the chassis are completely, basically messed up. They're fucked. Basically.
Yeah, or been burnt to the ground and everything. Because there's a lot of people that willing to do a salvage title. They're willing to buy a burnt car to restore from the ground up and everything.
Well, that's bank though.
It's a lot of money, like literally a lot of money to do.
Gotcha, man. All right. And so, I mean, those are options that you guys could go about it. I highly suggest auctions because you always get your bang for your buck at auctions. You don't pay interest. You don't pay
A down
loans.
fee, no loans, no down fees,
Right.
no nothing. It's just the car you're gonna buy. But certain, I'm gonna let you know this. Certain auctions, they will have you do some a down not down fee, but a payment fee.
Oh, okay. Just so you could attend it, right? Like,
Yeah,
got it. Okay. So just a heads up out there for anybody. As soon as you buy. Oh, did you want to add something else? Sorry.
but don't quote me on that because I'm not too sure because I haven't, like I said, I have not been to an auction.
Gotcha. Dang, okay. So, I mean, we got mostly all of the basics out the way. So, as soon as you get your actual car, let's just say, and you bought it, you're happy with it, there's certain guidelines you should follow or things to prevent because just from like personal experience, we've had our fair share of, things happen to us with the automobiles.
Yeah, yeah,
But
there's a lot of fair shares, a lot with these automobiles because once they give you a certain headache, you have to put up and deal with it and everything every single time. I put up and deal with my car every other day.
bro, sometimes you just be like, yo, I don't want to deal with her or him today. Like, it's like having a girlfriend. It's just like, nah, you just annoying today. I want to take care of you, but god damn. We also want to go into like if you ever do start doing your maintenance on a car, you always want to check that all your fluids are good, your oil, make sure it's changed on time.
Yes. So here's what I want everyone to do when they first buying the first car. Always check, your suspension, the tires, brakes, oil leaks, the fluids, or anything that's that can go wrong on the motor, or any coolant leaks or anything. Make sure you have a mechanic, a person. Now I can say a personal mechanic, or someone that can be there to help you out to pick out what might go wrong with the car, and
Right.
later on in the future if you have to fix the car.
Somebody to tell you straight up to, not somebody that's trying to just get your money for the repairs and stuff or have you come
Yeah,
back and stuff.
yeah.
That's why I got my trusted friend here today, man, Steve. Like man, and you gonna be helping me too. I know that for sure.
I'm honored to help someone that's in need to finding their first car.
Yo, that's what's up. That's what we're making this show today, man.
Yeah.
Um,
So, but like I said, always top off anything if it's oil, coolant, or what you call it for the windshield wipers, water reservoir. So 90%, actually 95% of the time, people will have to use their wiper blades to clean off their windshield wipers or the windshield because to get rid of bugs, debris, or anything off the when the people driving in front of the people's cars, like dirt that kicks up, mud that kicks up. Regardless, 95% is your washer fluid will go lower and lower, and until then you have to clean off your windshield, or if you have parked your car for a certain long period of time, you still have to clean off your windshield. And always, and I'm gonna tell you this, nowadays modern cars, they don't come with any dipstick no more.
Oh, so
Yes, like
wow.
that is gonna be a little harder to figure out how many miles until the oil is almost done. But nowadays, modern cars that comes with no dipstick,
Mm-hmm.
it's literally is harder to figure out. I personally still have a car that has a dipstick, so you can check your oil level.
Mm-hmm.
But modern cars now, everything is due goes through the computer.
Right. So the computer would tell you if you get the computer attached to the car, it'll tell you what's failing on it, or taking it to a technician.
Yeah, because it would tell you take the car to your closest nearest dealership to get fixed and everything. And there's a lot of because sometimes you might not get the car until the next 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, even longer sometimes.
Yes.
I've seen shops hold the car for about 2 weeks sometimes. And
Well, even the shop that I work at, we get these a lot of BMWs because certain cars that don't start, um, don't have the right computer or the right key fob, and transmissions, engines. Like right now, I have one of my other coworkers that's working on an X5
hmm
right now, and the customer got a, whew, oh my god, brand new motor. Put everything right back on the motor and slap it in the X5. That's it. So
yo,
it's gonna take literally like probably a week,
hmm
but dealership might have your car for at least, I don't know, probably 2 weeks.
so it's important to have that dipstick, like, and
It is actually no, it's important for like most majority of the cars that still have dipsticks. You can still check your oil level if it's running low, or if you have a car that's having a bad oil leak and you still have you're not sure how much more how much oil that's left in the in the oil pan. You still have that dipstick. You can pull it out, check how many what's the range, and how much oil that you still have in the oil pan, because certain vehicles that have a 4 cylinder, it give you only take 4 quarts of oil.
gotcha.
And BMWs now, certain cars that takes what, 8.5, 7, 9.5 quarts of oil.
Yeah, so it's a little more. So you got to be careful with how much you're putting in.
No, it's not even that. It's just like BMWs have more oil than normal cars does.
Right.
So because they have more of displacements, more room,
Bigger engine.
bigger engine than than these other cars that has smaller oil pans, because they have literally 4 quarts of oil
Right.
and 3 quarts of oil, because of course. But that's only what I can say. BMWs and Mercedes.
Gotcha.
BMW Mercedes has more room, so you can literally have an extra quart of oil in the car.
Gotcha. So important to top off all liquids. When in doubt, check your owner's manual too.
That too, yes.
Yeah.
Always check your owner's manual. When you check your owner's manual, or if you go to any auto parts stores, they will give you the actual, the fluids. But
They'll tell you exactly what you need basically.
yeah,
You
they
just
will give you exactly what you need for this car.
and they go by quick, man. The windshield liquid goes by fast. If you're
Yes.
on dry, you don't know how the hell you wipe off that one lizard that hits your windshield. Now you gotta go out and get them with your hand. I'm not saying to do that; it's a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea though, because you have to clean. If you have like a wet rag or anything that's water based to try and clean a windshield, just have a gallon of water.
It works just as good, right?
Yes, just it works just as good. Always have second water as in your side in the trunk of your car or wherever you keep fluids at. Always keep anything that for bug splatter, like Rain-X.
Rain-X, yeah. Yeah.
Rain-X will be it comes in very much handy. And I always have another bottle in hand, at
Right.
least a gallon or nowadays probably 2 gallons.
And always be on time with your maintenance with oils, because I usually personally myself I try to get it before it starts hitting that 3,000 miles or 3 months mark, before it starts getting murky basically and looking dark.
It's not even being the fact of being dark. It just have you got to be on before you literally hit. Well, I can't say I don't know for sure for any of these other um, automotive vehicles that has this technology inside of these cars yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, always I would say check your oil every 3 weeks.
Just to see how it's looking, right?
Yes, always see how it's looking. Check every 3 weeks.
Some people just be raw dogging the freaking car. They just be like, you know what? If Jesus doesn't want me to put oil, I'll just drive like this, and then they just keep going with the car. They're
I
like,
seen. I'm gonna tell you. I seen vehicles that come into the shop like negative 5,000 miles
what you mean, like off of oil? Like
off of
they
oil.
like they haven't checked their miles in
They
5,000
they
miles.
haven't checked them like because they kept driving their car. They
Mm-hmm.
don't because they don't check their the warning signs. That's like your check engine light goes off,
Mm-hmm.
your airbags going off, you're low on fluids going off. If you don't check none of those, you can end up having a bad motor by the certain miles.
Yeah, you could blow your gasket. You could.
Oh yes, blowing
Yeah.
gas is no fun.
No, sir. So I know for sure, like for more like older, like newer cars, it's the gap is a little bit bigger because of course they're new and they use synthetic. It's usually like 5,000 miles you want to change it,
No,
or
actually, when you're buying a new car
mm-hmm,
and you have to put at least 500 miles,
mm-hmm.
and when you're doing 500, you can go at least 1,000 miles before you go back to the dealership and get an oil change.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, next point, since we're on that, we talked a lot about dealerships, and getting maintenance there. Is it better to do your own maintenance, or do you trust dealerships nowadays? Because sometimes people have been skeptical and they're like, oh man, every time I take it to the dealership, it just gets worse. It's like they're messing the car up on purpose for me to keep going back.
It's not necessarily saying the dealership are messing it up. It's just like they're holding your car because they have other cars that's there.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I have a BMW certified technician at my boss shop, and he's literally telling these stories like, if you take your car to BMW or any mechanic shop, this is how they do it. This is how they have to schedule and make sure you get your car. They have to go through a process in a dealership
Mm-hmm.
at the mechanic side of aspect. They have to make you sign a waiver. If you break anything on that car,
Mm-hmm.
it goes to them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm saying it goes to them, but it goes, whoever that's worked on the car. One man person show. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Only that person that works on that car, nobody else.
Gotcha. And so you're saying like it would be, so would it be better just to do it yourself, because I mean it goes through less hands,
Well,
like.
if you're doing it by yourself, and if you want to do at your house or a local park, not even a local parking lot, you can't even do that. I'm sorry. to all those other people, if you want to do it by yourself, you can do it at your house. But nowadays, what you call the law are abolishing that.
Wow, so they're making you take that thing straight there, like to the.
Yes, they're making you try and work, make them make you take your car to a dealership or a mechanic shop. That's requirements.
Right.
Not requirements. Recommend you to go to.
I just feel like doing it yourself, besides you learning the actual skill of changing your own oil, I feel like sometimes you take it to a shop and it never comes back the same. because there is that history, and it's happened before that dealerships fuck your car up. And sometimes I like to do it myself personally because I just know what's going in my vehicle. Sometimes they even there's history where dealerships, when they change your oil and your maintenance, they charge you for synthetic oil when they're just putting regular motor oil in there. So they
It's not saying putting regular motor oil. They actually put like the actual oil that's required from any dealerships. So if you if you have like a brand new or a late model car, and you want to take it to the dealership and you get it checked over, your cars will be there for a while until it gets checked over, and then until they call you, and then after that, and all the prices you need to make sure they're gonna give you, it probably like half your arm or half your torso.
Yeah,
So
you mean
I'm gonna be blunt about it because like
it's
the money prices are really expensive
for the changes and shit. So
Yeah.
it does come out more economical for you, and it hurts less of your pocket when you do it yourself. Basically.
Yeah, it hurts because until you know whatever that's going to be wrong on the car. I seen a lot of people, not even a lot of people. I seen in my 5 years of working, I seen customers coming and go and asking about how they can fix this car, how they can do this, but a lot of people don't want to fix their car because they want to rely on mechanic shop or the dealership.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, man. So we went through dealerships, we went through maintenance, man. I mean, honestly, like just being on the discussion of cars and stuff, like it's such a joy. I think getting your first car is a different experience. You have this certain sense of freedom, you know. Like I got my first car basically when I was like, I'm gonna say 19.
I say high school year.
Yeah.
Right? I know it.
Yeah. And
It's funny.
I had a Nissan Maxima '93, I think. So
I never get to saw that car that one time.
you never saw that?
I never saw that one time you brought it to the house and like who's this person, and then like, and I went right back inside the house.
Yeah, you thought something.
I never came back out. I was like, I don't know who these people are because since I came back, when I was living in Chicago for my high school years, and then I have to come back down to Florida, to move back, in the state where I used to. For a while, yeah, I've been in Florida for a while. But when I came back from Chicago to live back in Florida, I didn't have no jobs or anything. So even though my brother was going to come pick me up from the airport, he instead had one of his friends come pick me up from the airport, and then lo and behold, I never knew anybody had you were in high school and I was out of high school.
Yeah. So it was kind of a little shocking for like, cause
for me, yes, for me to understand, like not understand, like I never ever met you having a Nissan.
Yeah.
Back then, because like I never seen anybody else besides even Drew when he had his Green Machine car.
Oh my god, that Green Machine, it had his issues and stuff. It went on really good, but it was about time, man. I think it had like more than 100,000 miles on it. And,
well, yeah, he told me a lot about good stories about that car. Anyway,
yeah,
very good stories. Like, oh man, I wish I was here.
One of his first dates with his girlfriend. If nobody knew, Drew from the show, he has a girlfriend, and I think he brought her into one of their first dates on that car, which is legendary. You gotta baptize the car, man. You gotta. So you feel me, though.
Oh, well, yeah, of course you're gonna have to do something like that, in a way. And oh my. But I never done none of that. I'm sorry.
You ever burnt any clutches? Because I've in total burnt about 2 transmissions on my car. My first 2 cars, I burnt both of their engines and their transmissions because I didn't know how to handle it.
Wait, out of the Nissan?
I burnt the head gasket out of the Nissan because I missed a couple of oil changes.
Oh man!
And it was a very, very old car, so I already had his issues. I got it for $800, and I blew its head gasket, and then I had to call a buddy of mine. And he's just
So
like,
hold
dude,
on. So you tell me you didn't do your research before you buy your first car?
no, because I did buy a lemon. I did buy a lemon because it was
Oh
cheap. Yeah,
man.
so learn from my
Wow.
mistakes, y'all. Like,
Yeah, if you I'm gonna tell you this to the audience right now, please learn from your mistakes before you do anything else. Do your research.
yeah, man.
Always do your research. See what Caveman had gone through, man. He
Mhm.
bought a lemon. My bad. Sorry, a lemon, right?
Right.
At $800.
Yeah, man. I was desperate for a car. It was actually from a friend's friend that I purchased it from.
Didn't you even buy another car after that?
I did. I bought a Honda Civic. It was a '01 Honda Civic automatic. It was a green. We called her Jade because she was green. Y'all know you remember
Yeah, I
Jade.
remember that car.
Jade, I revved that engine so much because I every time I just like redlining the shit out of that car, and then eventually the transmission gave out because I was either in gear when I was trying to reverse, and I just put it immediately to drive, which is a very bad idea. Wait till the car stops and then change to drive.
Right.
I messed it up like that. I revved it too much. It needed a transmission oil change, and I didn't get to it. So I messed
not
it up.
good. And then he sold for $500 for it, right?
Yeah, I had to junk it, man, and I wish I could have just auctioned it off. I probably would have got more money, or do it for parts or something.
Oh, you could have done for the parts because you could still make money off the car.
I could have taken it to like people to scrap it.
Scrapyard?
Not a scrapyard, but like just to take all the stuff they need off the car, like from you pull it or something.
Well, true. If like I said, if you were selling the car for parts, and then all the parts that they took off the car, even if they want to take the motor out the car, and then scrap the car, you already have most like not even half the money what for you want to sell for 500. You have probably more.
Right, I would have got more, and I regret it. Now, presently, I don't have a car. Sorry, ladies.
To all my ladies, do not hate on him. To my fellas, do not hate on my guy. Okay?
Yeah, man.
I know he don't have a car yet, but in due time,
In due time, man.
I see a future car that's coming for him right now.
Yo, and you know what it is too, bro. You gotta look into liabilities, man. If the car's a liability or not. If you got no type of cash flow coming in, that insurance is gonna eat up all your money. So to me, a car's a liability right now.
It is a liability. The thing is, like, even though you have to save a lot of money to have insurance for the car, and after if you get into an accident, that insurance will cover the car and you.
Right, both. Which is why it's so expensive. And
It is, but nowadays there are insurance that getting not even cheaper, but there are cheap insurance out there that will have you at a full coverage.
Oh, that's dope. Okay.
It is.
They're not none of the big names, but they still got you.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
big name insurance will, oh,
Yeah.
close to $700. Oh my God! Even when it comes to like a supercar,
Ooh, buddy.
go look
Ooh,
with
buddy.
that.
You got to look into what brands you're getting into. When I had to insure my Corolla, I don't know you remember my Corolla.
Oh yeah, that Corolla that you had. Man, listen, I am so upset they took that car away from you.
Yo, man, you know what? What happened is that I got into an accident, guys, and basically the damages I had to repair the whole car like it was brand new to even return it to the dealership. I did a repossession that was voluntary, and it was it was a Corolla. It was a 2019. It was a slate, it was
a great
basic car that everybody.
It's a basic car.
Right.
It was an econ car that that can get you to point A to point B.
Right.
And it's very efficient. Also, that car was great when he bought this car. I'm like, oof.
It was. Nice.
I was like, I gave him a good condolence on buying a newer car. And it was phenomenal.
You know what killed me though was the payments and the insurance combined. That's what killed me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't a good time. Like I was paying like about $700 a month for payment and insurance.
But weren't you working for something else before?
I think I was working. I think I was doing Uber and I was doing the theater job, which I had.
Well, the theater job, the engineering theater job, right? Oh
Yep.
yeah, that's why. Because now I remember.
Yeah.
Well, the engineer theater job was, I don't know, they were not giving the enough amount of money for.
Yeah, it was inconsistent when you're an audio engineer, and then you had to pay. You gotta get your shit, so I had to do Uber, which is not a bad idea.
It's really not a bad idea, but now I think Uber is kind of not going away. It just there's not a lot of people that's want to do an Uber.
Right, and it does pull mileage on your car too.
Well, it helps out, to get to point A to point B, and if it's even including giving the some money like a side money to give you extra room to to get you by, even if you have another job on the side, like the actual your main job giving you whatever payment, whatever they're giving you as you pay.
Yeah, man.
But having a side job is not even a bad thing.
No, not at all. No, not with Uber. I had a great experience. Like I got to know what people were ordering from, what's the hot spots around. You feel me?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh, that's awesome though.
Yeah, man. Oh, if you guys didn't know, I am gonna have Steven here. I don't know if I asked you yet, but I was gonna look into building my first project car, and we'll have vlogs for that in the future on the show.
Right, yeah. He asked me if I would willing to help him do a project car with him. I said,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
so down for that. Let me know when you come up with the money or whatever car that you're gonna buy as your first car.
Yeah, I'm torn between two right now, bro.
Oh no.
It's either a Evo or a 350 or 370, whichever one.
Well, it's like, my thing on the Evos, they are a rare car to find. Even though if you with the motor, if people knows whatever motor that comes in the Evo 9 or 8, I'm gonna tell you that those motors inside those bottom end is cast iron, and they hold to a lot of horsepower. Correct me if I'm wrong, audience. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong or not, because I know you're gonna hate me in the comments. This is bad.
What you about to drop? What you about to drop?
I'm not gonna drop on it. It's just like, I don't know if it's a built bottom end. No, not built. If it's a cast iron or cast aluminum. My bad. Forge. Is it forge? My bad. Dang, my head's getting everywhere. If it's cast iron or cast aluminum.
It just gives you. You said a better lower end, right? So
No, it depends on what kind of whatever low the bottom end is, because whatever bottom end is, it just on the Evos they can hold up to a lot of horsepower. And I really not too sure. I haven't do any research about these motors yet. So I can't give you on if you were trying to buy an Evo 8 or Evo 9.
right. I was looking into a 370. I got suggested by a good friend of mine's from high school, and he's just like, dude, yeah, your build, you could always upgrade and swap a motor, or you could upgrade on your stock motor and just add performance parts to it. He said 370 would be a good way of going about it because it's a newer car,
Right.
and it's easier to find, obviously.
They are so easy to find.
Yeah.
There are websites. You can go on Facebook and just go to the marketplace and find a 370Z that's off for sale, like right off rip. And mind you, these threes the Nissan Z's from factory, quote me if I'm wrong, they come 300 horsepower on stock.
So it's a great engine, bro. It already has its horsepower.
It really is. Like it just like I would say not compare. I'm not trying to compare apples to apples to any other car, but I can say it's like a resembling of the a 2000 to 2004 E46 M3.
So like in that's what it reminds you of.
Yeah, it reminds, because at the M3 motors, out of the E46, stock horsepower is 332 horsepower.
Dang. Okay.
And
Yo.
that horsepower, it's is already there.
Right.
People like my coworker are kind of bamboozled. Like, what make this car have this amount of horsepower stock?
Right. You know what? Something I had to learn too, man. What? Because I just got back into the interest of cars because I used to like it back in high school and the high school I used to go to. I learned that you either got to give something up when you're building your own car because basically if you're doing performance, fuel economy goes out the window. You can't be like, oh,
you
I
can't.
want
I'm telling you this. When you're building you're building a motor from the ground up or anything. If you're doing like twin turbos, single turbo, you lose econ already.
yeah, automatically. So you can't be looking into a car if you want to save gas if it's performance. If you're trying to race,
Yeah, if you're trying to race or take it on a track day or a drag strip or probably drifting, your level of gas mileage is going to be empties as soon as possible.
right. It's gonna fucking.
It's gonna take all your gas and everything. Like, yeah.
And I had to learn that too because I'm like, okay, so I want a slow car with fuel econ, like how I would like my Corolla, or if I want to go fast, it's just gonna be fast, but I want to have to like fill the tank up more often.
It's gonna be like more often, regardless if you want to do a turbo car or a supercharged, whatever. If it's supercharged, turbocharged, you won't be often putting more fuel.
Some cars, so I don't know if correct me if I'm wrong, but there's some cars that just do premium gas. So it's not just that you're filling more often, you're getting the most expensive gas sometimes.
Yeah, that's certain cars because my car takes premium and it's a stock motor and it still takes premium gas. Like it wants premium gas, not regular, not plus, premium. And gas prices are not cheap.
No sir, no sir. Oh buddy, see what y'all did, man. I ain't gonna get into the politics of gas, but see what y'all did, man. These gas prices are crazy out here.
It is. It's really crazy. It's like if you're. Oh man, it's like if you're willing to putting premium gasoline in your car, because premium gas is telling you this is meant for performance cars only, and it's only 93 octane.
Right.
So 93 octane is that's like the gasoline that if you want to take your car to a dyno, try and get more performance out of it. Regular gas is just meant for like any economy cars that you want to save gas and you can go a longer distance.
Right.
Mind you, if you're doing a performance car, you're gonna be on the road. If you're going to do a long road trip or a long distance in a performance car, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna put more gas than ever.
I feel that. Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
But anyways, man. Actually, do you? I want to add in one more question.
Go ahead.
Before we call it a day. I wanted to ask, like, we got this franchise of Fast and Furious.
Right.
People always looking at the iconic cars that Paul Walker had and Vin Diesel, and like I was just gonna ask you, what was your dream car? Like, what would you say you would want in your garage if you had no problems with money? You would just want it.
The only there's few dream cars that I will prefer to want to have in my garage if that's if the case was. The only few cars was like my favorite dream car that was out there way back when I was in high school. I'm saying the dream car I was like when I was walking the streets or going to the dealerships or anything. There's a local dealership that was in Chicago that had a few supercars, and they had this one supercar, all brown, convertible, gated.
Oh, okay.
Gated V10. I said, oh, Oh Lord, drop the
What was that car? That was a V10.
an Audi R8, the V10
Oh, the
gated.
R8. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
So I'm like, that was one of my a dream car that I had. That, I like, this is the car I would love to have and drive around, and it's a gated car. I
Gotcha.
love my manual cars. I don't like. I can't. I love my perks of manuals, but I can accept some automobiles that has automatic semi-matic gearbox.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the Audi R8, it was a 2010 gated R8
That was one of the few first years. That's like the first year that came out, right?
I can't say the very few first few years of that. They only made a couple hundred of those cars, probably 500, but a couple hundred to ship out in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
But now they are very rare cars to find,
Very.
and those cars going up in prices, man. Like
Yo.
literally, they going up in prices. If it's a special, like if it's a gated car,
Mm-hmm.
manual gated, whatever it is, those cars are very rare and they can go up in prices.
Yo. So it's going up, man.
Like even Lamborghinis, there are certain gated cars that has that, and and the prices are going up with them.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It is. I'm not joking. These cars, like, if you try to find, keep them.
Yeah. 'Cause
Even you find a barn find car, rebuilt a car, keep them because their prices will go up and skyrocket.
Yep, it's basically like investing in stock or something. That price, if you have good asset, it'll just go up in value. You get something like a R8. Jesus, like
Man, it's like the R8 was like the dream car of mine. I have a few other dream cars that I liked. Another car was a Nissan Skyline R33.
boy, that classic boy.
That's a classic, man. I think it was like a 98 or 96 R33.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, that's another car I would like to have.
You have
And
to.
the body line was, I love the shape of the car.
That was my first one, I would say, because I would agree with you on that one, because that would be one of the first ones I would have. And it would be one that the Paul Walker drove in Too Fast, Too Furious, with the blue streaks gray, with the neon lights from Too Fast, Too Furious. You know?
Too Fast, Too Furious. I don't.
Yo, you don't remember the one with the stripes?
Oh yeah, the silver car. Yeah. That's when it came down to Florida for that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo,
yeah.
I was about to say, Steven, come on, man.
Listen, it's like my memory's kind of a little hazy though.
I gotta say though, if my number one would be the FD RX-7.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you this, the FDs. My God, these prices going up on them.
Yeah.
Yo, I was watching a video. A YouTuber got an offer for $125,000.
And I'm guessing it's in good condition. Like
No, he rebuilt the car.
And he was selling it for that much?
No, he didn't sell it because there was the video of the guy was like saying, "Oh, I'm offering you this money for this car."
Oh, he really wanted that car. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, $125,000. Man, if you rebuild a good FD and a person that's going to offer you that much money, I say, yo, this is nuts. Your mind could be like, hello.
Even for that money, though, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I would probably turn it down because I'm just like, man, I like my car though. Like, but for how much? How many? 120 G's?
125 G's, my guy.
That's a hard decision because that would be like.
It is a very like. When I watched the video, I'm like, yo, man, turn it down. But, jeez, for 125 G's?
Listen, the reason why I fell in love with it was because what they did with the Veal side body kit that they put it on Tokyo Drift with Han as his car.
Well, that's a different version. That's a version. I seen, well, the one in Tokyo Drift with Han. That's a good kit for an FD, and But there's so many different cars that has regular stock body. Want to keep the stock lines, and just
keep it how it is, basically.
how it is, and just if you want to do like a rebuilt motor and just keep the car how it is, keep the paint job how it is, and just throw some wheels on it and just drop the car.
You call it a day.
Call it a day. You can make, if you want to sell your car for however you built the car for the price that you want to get for. Like, yo, this is, I'm not gonna say it's madness, but damn, okay.
Yo, yeah, man. But anyways, man, that was it for today, man. I liked having you come through the show. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have you for future segments.
Thank you for having me. But yeah, future segments will be awesome. You know,
man.
We will keep you guys in a loop. Also, I'm having I have a page for YouTube.
Yes, sir.
But it's not up yet until, I start making the videos of my car. I will put out a video for my car, and I don't know when, but I'll keep you guys on an update on it. If you want to contact me on other social media platforms, you can catch me at Instagram at Stevie_E39_life.
There you go.
So
and we'll have that at the bottom for you too. I'll put it in the description if you guys want to subscribe and follow Steve on his journey with him like working on his cars and his E39 that he has. We'll have that for you.
Right. And I haven't been posting anything of my E39 on my Instagram yet. So there's a few videos that's on there of my cars, or there's a few pictures, but I haven't done anything in require of me showing what I do or what I do with my car, how I drive my car. And it's a process. I'm telling you guys, it's a very process for me.
Yeah, it's all good. And that's why we're doing this too, so you guys will get an introduction of like the type, friends that I bring into the show, special guests. You guys get to know them. They're all locals, man. Really good friends of mine, so
Thank you for having me, Caveman.
yeah, man. And hopefully next week we'll have Drew back. I'm pretty sure, and we'll have a segment where all three of us will be discussing stuff. And
yeah, this will be an awesome segment for if we have three people here, and it's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, man.
That's all I can say. Just look into it. Look for it. It's gonna be a fun one for three people that's going to be on this podcast.
All right.
All righty.
Yeah.
Let's have it.